Hey everybody, welcome back to BK's Bullets. Today I thought we'd do an overview of 52. Hey everybody, and welcome back to BK's Bullets. As always, I'm your host, Brent, and today I thought we'd do an overview of these 52 trade paperbacks. These are the second editions, basically the two volume versions where you have volume 1 and volume 2. So if you don't know 52 was a weekly series that the first one DC ever did came out of Infinite Crisis. Infinite Crisis ended and DC said, we need to do something to shake up our heroes. This was so successful. We need another event to ride the coattails on. So let's put something on everybody's book that says 1 year later. So 52 was the story of what happened in that 1 year gap with all of our heroes. Our main trinity disappeared, so you had other heroes have to step up, like Steel, Booster Gold, The Question, Renee Montoya. I think that's Ralph Dibny in the background there. And it came out once a week for an entire year. Every Wednesday there was a new issue of 52. And the cool thing about it was the covers would have the number on it. 52, 50, or no, that was Countdown. But it said week 1, week 2, week 3. That's where I'm getting it wrong. The next weekly series was kind of a mess. But yeah, they had gorgeous covers by J.G. Jones, did a painted cover every week, and just phenomenal book. I've read this in single issues. I don't think I've reread it since it came out, so I'm excited to reread this now that I've got my hands on these thicker trade paperbacks. There were, I think, 4 trade paperbacks that came out right after it did, and there was another version that was like 52, the covers, so I don't think the 4 trade paperbacks, like volume 1, 2, 3, and 4, they all had new covers from J.G. Jones, but I don't think they had the weekly covers in here. And to my surprise, this does. This has the covers every week on the pages. So beautiful book. So I'm so excited to read this and see the covers and all that. Here's a cover here. Doesn't have the 52 on the top. J.G. Jones, phenomenal artist. But yeah, it's got everything in here. Next in 52, and every week they would have a couple of panels from the next week's issue. You've even got a process from Keith Giffen pages in here. That's pretty cool after each issue. So basically, to whip this book out so fast, they had a table, like a writer's room. They assembled the greatest writers at DC at the time. Jeff Johns, Grant Morrison, Greg Rucka, Mark Waid. And each person kind of said, all right, I will take a storyline and craft it. So you had some writers who only handled certain storylines. I think Jeff Johns handled maybe the Black Adam stuff, the Shazam stuff. Grant Morrison doing the kind of weirder stuff. I think Greg Rucka handles the question stuff. I'm not sure what Mark Waid specifically did off the top of my head. But you also had the help of Keith Giffen, who was a writer and artist doing the breakdowns. So he would get the script, and basically what he would do is he would lay out the pages for that artist. Let me find a page here that has the breakdowns. And basically what they decided to do was to try and keep 52 to a 6-panel grid every week. And so yeah, what Keith Giffen would do is to keep this basic 6-panel grid structure, and he'd break it up every once in a while, right? But that was the basic idea. So as you flip through it, you see these 6 panels. It gives enough for the artist to draw something, but it's not so intricate, so detailed unless they're doing like a splash page. And you'll get times here like they'll combine something for a scene across, or have an establishing shot and have a simpler set of panels on the other page. But for the most part, it's a 6-panel grid most of the time, as I turn to pages that don't have that. But am I wrong? I feel like they tried to do it, but it wasn't as strict as maybe I'm thinking. Here's some that are doing the 6 panels. Here's a 9-panel page. But you had Keith Giffen kind of mapping this out, basically storyboarding the book according to the script for that artist, who would then so Keith Giffen would hand over the script, hand over the breakdowns to the artist of that week, and that artist would draw everything, basically have like a guideline. Here, draw this, draw it like that, draw it like that. So maybe there were some things changed and some things, differed or whatever, but it made that art process faster. Here's a double page spread with the Great 10 from China, Black Adam. Made that process faster, and it kept the book on time, and that was the main thing that everybody really liked about it. Was you got this weekly story for the first time. You got the first appearance of Batwoman in these pages from Greg Rucka. Joe Bennett, there's Kate Kane right here, I believe. Kind of a different version of Kate Kane with the high heels and stuff. Her costume changes when when she got her own storyline in Detective Comics with Greg Rucka and J.H. Williams III. Alex Ross designed her costume at the time. But yeah, pretty cool. Black Adam gains and loses a family in here. Really love that they have the covers included as like the breaking up each issue and the next time in 52, the process pages. That's really, really cool. The Metal Men, you got Ralph Dibny, Elongated Man. So what was cool about this is it gave a big spotlight. Animal Man had a space adventure. Now I'm remembering it as I'm turning it. Spotlight to these other characters in the DC universe that, never really got a spotlight because we had Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman in the front all the time. And this let these smaller characters that nobody really cared about, let them take center stage and really it showed everybody that you could craft a really interesting storyline with smaller characters, and not have the Trinity in it. And that's what's so phenomenal about 52. And the fact that the story is just so good. It is so good. So Infinite Crisis basically had them combine everything into one world. I think coming out of this, there was one Earth. They kind of expanded it. There was one Earth coming out of Crisis on Infinite Earths. Then it kind of came into question with Alexander Luthor kind of at the end here. Getting multiple Earths involved. You had the people that escaped from the dimension, Superboy Prime, all this stuff going on. And at the end of it, there was kind of a question of like, what's the state of the multiverse? Is there one? All that kind of stuff. And that's the other question that 52 does answer. Some Phil Jimenez pencils here in Volume 2. Phenomenal artists, by the way, that handle these weekly pages. Let's just look at some of them here. Eddie Barrows, Chris Batista, Joe Bennett, Giuseppe Camicoli, Tom Derenick, Jamal Eigel, Phil Jimenez, Drew Johnson, Dan Jurgens, Justiano, Mike McCone, Sean Moll, Patrick O'Leaf, Joe Prado. These are the inkers also as well. Patrick O'Leaf and Joe Prado actually did a page. He's usually an inker. Derek Robertson, Andy Smith. That's just in Volume 2. So phenomenal work from all of these artists using these breakdowns from Keith Giffen. See, I knew I wasn't crazy when I said this like 6 panels, but there was a method to their madness to keep everything kind of succinct and the same. You got is this guy Supernova, I think is his name? Booster Gold and Skeets. This is where I fell in love with these two characters, Booster Gold and Skeets. You got Rip Hunter, the Time Guy. Lots of fun, weird stuff in here. People get superpowers and lose superpowers. And then at the end, there's something in the 50th issue called World War III. And basically it's Kahndaq going to war, Black Adam going to war with everybody here. Week 45. So this is, even though they don't have the weeks here, every issue does start with the whatever week you're on. So turn a couple ones. And World War III lasted 1 week. Everything in each book says like, day 1, day 2, like day 3 of the week. So each issue spans a week of time in the DC universe. So this is World War III. This is drawn by Justiano, who later turned out to be a creep, but he does deliver some fantastic art here. And the Day of Vengeance miniseries. Day of Vengeance. He was a phenomenal artist, but he turns out he's a creep, so we can't talk that much good stuff about him. But yeah, so for World War III, there was also, like, I can't remember if these issues came out at the same time, but there was another miniseries which expands on the story told in 52 in a much deeper way and focuses on the actual battles. Like, the World War III issue here is all the big stuff happens in here, but it also kind of goes away sometimes to focus on the other characters and things like that. And maybe it's tidied up too fast to really be a war or a world war kind of thing. But I really do feel like they should have included these issues, because World War III, this book, which I had to scour eBay to find a copy of this collection, because it's, they don't collect World War III in the 52 collections or the omnibus, but this is from the pages of 52. I think this has only been printed once, this old trade paperback. And I bought this. I didn't realize it was a library copy, so it's got this kind of shiny binding on it here. But this is 4 more issues of World War III. And this includes week 50 as well. That's pretty cool. So yeah, you could slot this in right before week 50 and go through their covers with Ethan Van Sciver. I think he did all 4 covers. Yep, he did. And but that was the cover to each issue. So I can't remember if they had 1 per week or if it was 4 issues. Like, if I went in the comic shop that day and bought 5 issues basically of World War III, 1 through 4, and then the 52, number 50. But yeah, Tom Derenick is in here, I believe. Pat Olliffe, Supergirl, Martian Manhunter. So this kind of expands the story of that 1 week into 4 issues. And I remember at the time reading it, I really liked this expansion. So I'm disappointed that it's not in the actual book itself. I think that's a mistake, but maybe they feel like they don't need it because issue 50 tells most of it. But you had other writers on here that weren't part of the 52 cabal, basically. Keith Champagne writing the first 2, and John Ostrander writing the second 2. So maybe that's why they don't collect it. I don't know. Anyway, I would say if you like World War III, maybe try and find this one. So this is called World War III from the page of 52. But I think it's listed everywhere online. Their ISBN or number says DC World War III. So you can try to find it that way. Good luck to you. Yeah, it went for $17. I wouldn't pay that much more than that. But because why hasn't this been collected? Why isn't this in the omnibus? Why isn't this in this collection? It just boggles my mind. But it is the story. It's the same story. It's not a side story or anything like that. It's just an expansion. But hey, DC, do what DC's gonna do. So that's my overview of the 52. So here's the covers to the first 4 trade paperbacks. But again, these trade paperbacks didn't have the actual issues I don't think they had the covers to the actual issues in there. Why? I don't know why. It's mind-boggling, but I'm glad these thicker versions do. This is all 52 issues. You basically get like 26 issues in each one. And man, they're like massive phone books. So I can't wait to reread it. I think I'm gonna do an Infinite Crisis build-up reread, do that, and then jump into 52 from there because it's phenomenal. And these do kind of mirror each other. Maybe some slight spoilers for these, but this is the cover to number 1, and this was the cover to number 52. So there you have it. That's my overview of 52. Let me know what you guys think of the series down below in the comments, and we will see you guys next time in the Funny Pages.